got my own dance.
The Humpty Dance is your chance to do the hump.
Come on,
I do the Humpty Hump.
come on,
I do the Humpty Hump.
check me out, y'all.
I do the Humpty Hump.
Just watch me
I do the Humpty Hump.
Yeah,
do
you know what I'm doing the Humpty Hump. Come on,
I do the Humpty Hump.
Digital Underground were an alternative hip-hop group from California that existed from 1987 to 2008. In that time, they produced 6 albums, and they had lots of members. Wikipedia lists 40 of them, including the one name that jumped out that I knew was Tupac. The two guys, Shock G and Money B, were static through the whole of their history, it would seem, but the rest seemed to be very much a revolving door. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was their first album, and it's my first contact with them as far as I can remember. And I would describe this as being old-style rap. Okay, so I'm kind of starting to get the idea of being able to separate the idea of rap from hip-hop. Hip-hop's the style of music, rap's the style of, well, not singing, talking. So it's old-style hip-hop. Okay, I can hear the words, which is a good thing, generally. It has the feel of older stuff, like Grandmaster Flash and things like that. It's maybe moved on a bit from that. We are a few years later from that. The music's generally funky, and I enjoyed quite a few of the grooves. There's quite a lot going on. There's some scratching. There's samples from funk bands like Parliament and Funkadelic, and that's all good. Not all the grooves inspired me quite so much, but in general, musically, it was, to my taste. And then the subject matter, which is always an important thing with rap albums, it's not gangster. Okay, so immediately this gives me finally a rap album that I can listen to that isn't all about shooting people, etc. So it's a concept album, apparently, about glowing pills that give you hallucinogenic sex. And there's 5 tracks at the end that are definitely about the idea. I wouldn't say all the tracks kind of fit in with that theme, but maybe they're building it up. Maybe if you have the album notes, which I don't, then you'd find out more about how it links together. There's a couple of self-glory tracks, which are very typical rap fare, which is where the greatest rappers were absolutely brilliant, everybody else is rubbish kind of stuff. There's a track which is called Underwater Rhymes, which is an underwater fantasy. It's my favourite track on the album, I'd say. There's a track called Danger Zone that I think is an anti-drugs track. It's certainly about drugs in some way. There's a track called Gut Fest, which is another kind of fantasy thing. It's about a festival initially, which seems to be about music and then seems to be about sex, and it's pretty misogynistic actually in its attitude. There's another track, Freaks of the Industry, which is pretty explicit, so that wouldn't be to everybody's taste. There is some ripe language on the album, but in general it's light-hearted, and it's definitely kind of tending towards the comedic rather than the kind of heavy wear from the hood kind of stuff. And so overall, I enjoyed it. In fact, enjoyed it quite a bit. I had it turned up nicely in my car on my commute, and I felt a bit like one of those guys going around in their little cars with their too many exhausts and the rap blasting out. Maybe it wasn't quite so blasted, but I did enjoy it as an album. What do you think? Let me know, please, in the comments below. That's it from me for now.
We're at 400 fathoms. We have arrived.
Now last night, underwater, I saw a French mermaid. Treated her to caviar and wine over shrimp brain. In the raw, on the ocean floor. Need I say more? You never heard nobody kick it like this before. Pink champagne, octopus brain. Saw your DJ underwater through the window pane. That sucker tried to hit